Hello folks, welcome to Canal Channel Jose. Today we're going to give you an idea how to replace the master control for the window regulators, and this is going to be the driver's side on a 94 to 2001 Acura Integra. And this is specifically for the two-door, but the four-door, all it is that there's two more buttons to this control. So usually what happens on these controls is that most drivers use the driver's side window more often, so the button stops responding as we need. So now we're going to replace this control because that's what's happening to us. Our window won't go down and sometimes it won't go up once we lower it. So we're going to replace that control or the master control for the window regulators, and we're going to show you how we do this task. We're going to be removing this master control from the door, and to do that we have to remove the panel so we can take this because there's two pieces to it. So we're going to be showing you step by step so we can take the panel off the door, and you want to do this carefully. Here's your door panel, and for us to remove this door panel, there's a screw right here. There's a screw right behind that little cover, and there's this plastic screw right here that we have to remove. Once we remove those three components, we can start pulling our door away from the bottom, so all those clips that are attached to the door panel come off, and then we can actually pull our door away carefully so we can work on this part. We just want to be able to reach behind and get this guy out of there. So we start by removing that Phillips screw from there. We're using a hook or a pick to separate that little plastic that is covering that Phillips screw. And now we can take that screw out. Now we have this one that is towards the front after the speaker, and that one is a plastic one. Just turn it, don't force it, don't push it in because you might damage the threads. So now that we have removed those three screws, two Phillips metal screws and one plastic, now we can start grabbing from the bottom, start pulling that slowly and careful away from the door. And there's going to be a bunch of plastic tabs that are kind of shoved into the metal door frame. So you got to pull that away, pop those out, and then we can lift it up. That way we can start getting to the back of this. You want to be careful with the latch because it's going to be attached to the mechanism to open the door. Now, before you start pulling this whole structure out, what you want to do is you pull this up like you're opening the door, and then you want to push this structure where the locking button is back a little bit and out, because if you try to pull it straight out, you're gonna break some tabs that are in there holding this towards the door so it doesn't shake around. So you pull it back and out, and we're gonna expose why it was like this. We had to pull this tab out and then pull this back and out a little bit. That hook and that hook keeps this towards the door on that little area and that little area. So once you unhook it, the screw holds it towards the door panel, towards the door frame, but that keeps it the whole panel from sliding out as well if that screw's not in. But that's why you want to slide it back a little bit. You got to pull this, slide it back a little bit and out before you pull the panel. Otherwise you're going to rip that and these are going to break off. So once you do that, now we can pull the panel away, or you disconnect this. So now that we have detached the door panel from the door, what we can do is you can lower your window, try to lower it all the way down so we can pop it out of the rail or from the top, and that way it gives us the glass is not going to be there, so that way we can have a little bit more play to work with it and drag it out of there. So now that we have done that, try to lower the window, push it up and pop it out. Be careful with your latch because there's two rods here. You don't want to pull too much because you might bend some of that component. So let's try to lower our window now. We put our key in, we open, so we have the dash on, and we try to lower our glass and it won't even do anything. So now that we can't even lower our glass, we're gonna have to work like this. We give it a shot and see if we could at least lower the glass to change this switch, but in our case we can. So now you're gonna have to probably work the panel off of there with the glass up. This is the door panel and we have pulled it away, and now we have the tweeter right here. Disconnect this one, disconnect the green one. This is for the mirrors adjustments, and this is the one for the window regulators. So we disconnect this one, and this one, so we can get the door panel away from the door, and we can take this box out of here so we can start replacing it with a new one. So now to remove the switch, what we have to do is we have to remove 1, 2, 3 Phillips screws. This box comes inwards and the switch goes the other piece, the mirror adjustment goes the opposite way. So this is the window regulator control. Now that you took off the 3 screws off, you just pull this away. The switches, the master control for the window regulators come off, and that one stays on. That's a glass adjustment for the mirrors. So now we're going to show you how is in the other side for that. You don't need to take that off. You can just put the new one in there, screw it with the 3 screws. But if you want to clean it, then you got to push that one over to the other side, and we're going to show you. So now that we have the control, we took it off by unscrewing the 3 screws. We took it off now, and this guy comes out this way. We pull it from back here and we pull it away and out. As you can see, this tab is the one that hooks in the front. This guy keeps it from coming through because of this body. So now we clean our surface. We put the mirror adjustment like that, and then on the bottom, this guy is gonna come up. It's gonna come up like this. It's gonna assemble itself like this, and we're gonna have to screw 1, 2, 3 screws to keep this whole thing together. That's why this guy comes out from the bottom, because he doesn't fit through here. So this guy, we put it in, we put this other guy from the bottom, and then we screw it in from the bottom. So now we have replaced the old window regulator control that wasn't working for the driver's side, and we have put the new one in there. We have to go from underneath. So now we're gonna save this and look at it. We're gonna take it apart and check it out later why it wasn't working. So now that we have done that, we're gonna connect our wires. We already have tried that our window goes up and down, and now we're gonna connect our wiring back. Is for the window regulator control, the mirrors, and the speaker, the tweeter. So we connect those and we can start putting everything back together. Now that we connected our wiring into the plugs, we make sure that the plug for the locking and unlocking the car is right there by the door handle, so we can actually pull it and plug it into the button. So what we do now is we start hanging it from the frame on top, and then we can, once we hang it, then we can pop those rivets in, and then we can start putting our cover for this area, the door handle, the grabbing point on the door, and then we put the screws, and we're almost done with the process of replacing this master switch for the windows. So now this is plugged in here. So what we do is we pull our door handle out, we slide this in and backwards a little bit, and then we slide it forward, so those 2 hooks that were in the back grab into the frame, and now we can put the screw on. Now we put our little plastic cover that goes here, so it bolts this part into the door frame, so it is more, so it secure, so it secures this area. So now we put this rivet or this clip in, and then we put the screw that goes in here, so it spreads these tabs and it grabs so it doesn't come out. It's like an anchor. And well, folks, we have replaced the old master switch with a newer one, and now we can raise and lower our window anytime we need to. And one thing I want to say is that these cars are equipped with the fuses for each side of the window, so the left or the right don't work. Check your fuses before you start replacing this component, because it could be just a fuse and not this. But in our case, it was this control, and then sometimes it can even be the window regulator that is not working properly. So before you start getting into this kind of replacements, check your fuses first and then go from there. So that way you don't spend money and a waste of time when it could be just a simple fuse that can cost you a couple bucks. And well, folks, hopefully this video was useful and helpful on how to replace a window regulator control board or a module, which is in the driver's side from a 94 to 2001 Acura Integra. And this is for specifically for the two-door 94 2001 Acura Integra. For that four-door, it's similar process. It's just two more buttons in there because you got to operate the two windows in the back. With that said, folks, and for our friends who are watching our video, haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. If you like a video, give us thumbs up, share it, and we'll see you soon with more videos here in the canal del Chano Jose.